Hey guys, welcome to The Strong Young Man. Every girl needs a good healthy dose of masculinity in her life. If you're a man with a young daughter, then you need to understand that cross-gender relationships are the most important relationship in a girl's life. A woman's attitude towards masculinity begins in her formative years. A woman's father is responsible for establishing positive views of men and women and how they should interact. Fathers are the first man that a girl loves, and a positive experience of masculinity sets her up for healthy, successful masculine relationships. Your daughter will develop her attitude towards men from the example she sees of how you treat your wife and how you allow your wife to treat you. Being a good example of what it means to be a man will embody a fine balance between modelling the provisioning security-seeking aspect of the hypergamous equation, as well as maintaining a healthy variety of the alpha-dominating role, keeping the frame of your marriage on your terms. This is the best way to exemplify the masculine ideal for all your children, not just your daughter. Ideally, this should be established before your daughter's birth, when you meet the mother of your children, but at a minimum it should be established from the time she's born. Specifically for your daughter, you need to make sure you develop her trust, her sense of security, and her love and appreciation for men. The father should also be the physical and emotional protector for his daughter. He should be there to ground her when her feminine chaos causes her problems. This is especially important in her transition from becoming a young girl to becoming a young woman. How she's treated in the years she's defining herself as a woman will determine her self-esteem throughout her life. In addition to this, you must impart your red pill wisdom onto your daughter. These 5 lessons will have you covered. Lesson number 1, marriage is about duty to your children and your husband. You don't give up on marriage just because your love for your husband wanes. Divorce should be the absolute last resort because it cripples everyone in the family. Lesson number 2, soulmates are a myth and the perfect man doesn't exist. Settle on a man who has 80% of what you want in your early 20s because you're only going to be able to get 40% of what you want from a man in your early 30s. There is no shame in picking a successful older man while young if you want. If you choose a young man instead, and you pick the right horse, and you treat him properly, he'll blossom into 100% of the man you want by the time you have a young family. Lesson number 3, your relationships, not your career, is the key to your long-term happiness. Focusing on your career will make you unattractive to masculine men, and it will reduce the number of men you find attractive. This will make it harder for you to find a man that you respect, and this will negatively impact your happiness for the rest of your life. Lean into your femininity and prioritise happy and healthy relationships, and your happiness will intensify as you mature. Lesson number 4, appreciate the value that a man brings to the table. Women can't survive without men, and men love to be needed. Allow your husband to do things that bring value to the family and show respect and appreciation when he does them. The happiest relationships consist of a masculine man heading the household and a feminine woman playing the supporting role. Lesson number 5, every decision that you make or don't make in life comes with consequences that you will be held accountable for later on in one way or another. This includes everything from your digital footprint to your sexual escapades to who you choose to associate with to the mistakes you make in your younger years. Whether you want to accept responsibility or not, you will still experience the consequences. Some other things worth considering. If you have a daughter but no son, beware, you will tend to favour your masculine activities because you have no masculine outlet. Don't raise your daughter in the same way that you'd raise your son, as this will overdevelop her masculine side. Boys will benefit much more from a strong masculine approach, including discipline, insurmountable challenges, and playing rough. On the other hand, girls need a softer approach and will benefit much more from you leading by example rather than actively mentoring them. Girls who have hypercritical fathers become accustomed to the treatment they received as children and expect to be treated that way when they grow up. Treating your daughter this way will cause her to seek approval from men, which will most likely manifest as sexual promiscuity. I covered the Electra complex extensively in episode 34. The best way to avoid this is to be gentle in your approach. Do both masculine and feminine activities with your daughter, but be masculine in your undertaking. For example, take her to the shopping mall, but take the lead, protect her from bumps, and of course pay for everything. You need to show her positive masculinity in everything that you do. It's important to also include her in your masculine activities, like when you're building or fixing something, as this keeps things balanced. Daughters need to see fathers doing masculine things, to appreciate everything that men do. They also need to experience this, to see that men are leaders and women play a supporting role. Doing only feminine activities reinforces the toxic, politically correct ideal that men should be feminine, and this is not a good message. Start doing masculine and feminine activities with your daughter in her developmental years before she's 8 years old. Children are like sponges, and the longer you neglect your duty, the more effort you'll have to put into correcting her negative behaviours or changing her understanding. You'll most definitely want to be on top of this before she's a teenager. Remember how filthy you were as a teenage boy? Make sure you've developed her values and standards before she meets these horny fuckers. If your relationship with your daughter is positive, then she'll tend to project these desirable qualities you showed her onto other men. She'll seek the qualities that you showed her in order to re-experience her childhood utopia. If the relationship with you is inconsistent, she'll try and fix that relationship by finding a man who reflects that inconsistency and then fixing that in him. If you treat her bad, she'll accept that this is the way she ought to be treated, and she'll seek out men who treat her this way. Women are attracted to men that treat them the same way their father demonstrated how to treat women. If she has no father, then she will seek out men with characteristics similar to her first significant male emotional attachment, an uncle, a teacher, or her first boyfriend. In her relationships, a woman will unconsciously assume the role she experienced as a child growing up. This is because this role reinforces the image she has of herself from her first emotional attachment. If you are providing her with a terrible example, then be warned, you will get what's coming. You need to correct this issue before she's old enough to separate from you and forge her own identity. After this point in time, the recovery is out of your hands. You'll have to rely on her ability to recognise her own deficiencies and heal herself through psychotherapy. If she doesn't fix herself, her life will turn into a basket case. The antidote to this is to provide your daughter with the best dose of positive masculinity that you can provide. Women who come from money, who have positive relationships with their fathers, are the least likely women to do X-rated content for money. A woman from this background cannot be bought, financially or emotionally. Providing your daughter with a comfortable life is a part of positive masculinity, but it will also assist in the prevention of her looking for other avenues to satisfy financial or emotional desires if you're not able to provide this for her. If you are a single father, do your best to maintain a relationship with your daughter. Her future happiness is at stake. Do your best to keep her away from toxic influences that promote female masculinity. The world is lacking good feminine women these days. To finish off today's episode, I want to fully disclose everything. I don't have a daughter that I know of. Naturally, you might assume that I'm not qualified to discuss this topic. While I've never changed a nappy, I do understand that women coming of age today are riddled with deficiencies from having no positive masculine influence. I've seen these deficiencies firsthand, to which their fathers have absolutely no idea. I've been involved with many women, more women than you have daughters. My perspective is also completely devoid of emotion because I don't have a dog in the race. What I see are extensive gaps in females' understanding of reality present in young women. I'm asking that you plug these gaps as you raise your daughter for the benefit of your family. If these gaps remain unplugged, it's only going to get worse for your genetic legacy in the future. Ignore this advice at your own peril. Thanks for watching today's episode. In episode 108, I'll be discussing the dark side of marriage. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when it drops. Catch you then.